Hello, everybody. Welcome to a review slash discussion on Marvel Studios' Black Widow.
So this is going to be our second commentary style video on the Half Empty channel. So welcome back for those of you who saw the first one.
So this is going to be a mostly spoilers discussion, but we'll get our first thoughts out of the way.
Yeah.
Obviously, Black Widow, very long delayed. Just come out over a year ago.
Yeah, it was supposed to come out like last September.
Yeah.
Then it was pushed to November. And then it was put on indefinite hold. And now it's out.
So it's been a long wait to get Marvel back in the theaters, but obviously we've had the Disney Plus shows since then, kind of hold everyone over. First off, it did feel real nice to be back in that theater in that big Marvel.
It was nice to be in the theater with other people in it. It's been a while. I mean, F9 had some people film that. This was like actual big movie opening.
Yeah.
It's been
a while.
When was the last time we went to see a movie with other
Rise
people?
of Skywalker.
Yeah, I guess because there wasn't really anyone in Sonic.
No, there wasn't. So first off, it's just me and Sam here. Patrick is on vacation.
Hasn't seen it yet.
So the director of this movie is Kate Shortland.
Mm-hmm.
Just so everyone knows, she has never done anything of this size of this budget. I know she's done a couple of indie films.
What else has she done?
She's done a little bit of TV. I know she was chosen personally by Scarlett Johansson to direct the movie. And overall, for a director for this type of film for the first time, it's fairly well directed. I think the only part of it is I think some of the action scenes aren't very well shot, even though they're fairly well choreographed.
Yeah, I mean, the choreography, okay, Black Widow choreography is pretty easy because she just does that one little leg wraparound move every time. She pretty much is just that person in the video game who just spams the one combo and just wins every fight.
I would say if you think you're going to enjoy it, just go see it. It's not super long for the most recent Marvel movies.
Yeah.
It's fairly enjoyable. I don't think it's bad. I think there's just parts of it that are kind of predictable. It's very predictable, and some of the reasons for things are kind of dumb. But I mean, there wasn't any like major plot holes. There wasn't like anything that was glaringly bad. Just some like little things I was like, wait, hang on, say that again. Wait, what was that? What? Yeah, the cast is good. I think Florence Pugh and David Harbour are probably the standouts here. I think Scarlett Johansson, she gives a very "this is my last one, then I'm done" kind of performance. But I guess now we'll get into spoilers. So
spoiler time.
If you have not seen the movie yet, click away. If you have, stick around. If you don't care, so I guess we'll just start off with the beginning of the movie, that kind of opening extended flashback scene.
That was probably my favorite part of the movie, to be honest.
I think it was the best.
It was the most interesting part.
Yeah, it was. I think it was a nice cold open. I don't know if I liked young Natasha's actor, but kid actors are.
I mean, I thought she was fine.
They were fine, but it's kid actors. My favorite part of it by far was the digital de-aging, which is just so commonplace. They made
what's his name? Captain Russia, whatever his name is. They made Captain Russia like real skinny. Yeah. He just looked super weird because I've only ever seen him in Stranger Things when he's like also kind of fat. So like he just looked weird, super skinny.
And I like that they gave him big nerd glasses.
Yeah,
that'll cover up the CGI
and then
better.
Their like adopted mom, they made her like,
you could tell it's the most obvious on her.
They didn't change her like body, but they smooth. They just like it's like they took Vaseline and just went and just smoothed her face out.
Yeah, and she's got there's like no I get you want to like pin back the like obvious like wrinkles
and stuff
aging,
like that. Yeah,
but it's like she's like
it's
super
like
smooth.
It's
face.
Like really thick digital makeup. Is what it looks like.
That's what it looks like. But then after the opening scene, go to the opening credits, which
that was the darkest part.
Took me out. Yeah, the movie a lot. I was like, ooh, what?
If you've ever seen the show Chuck, it looks like the flashes he has, but it was just like for the duration of the runtime of "It Smells Like Teen Spirit" from Nirvana.
It's like this weird, like it felt like an early 2000s movie.
Yeah,
like this like flashy editing.
It feels like you're just being very quickly shown a lot of images, and through those images, I like a lot of stuff that we've seen before, like with her flashbacks and stuff makes sense. Like they kind of use this montage to answer a lot of questions, and they do some other stuff like they compare the girls to pigs too. They were like cutting in between baby faces and like pig faces. Like it was very jarring. Like it's very different. Like it's very un-Marvel
because they don't usually do those types of credit scenes in Marvel movies. It's usually just logo and then the movie starts. So it's weird to get like that whole. Usually that's for the end.
Yeah, and they did it because they have they were covering a 21-year time jump within that montage.
They needed to space that out.
Yeah.
But also it extra felt like the early 2000s because of that like really bad cover of It Smells Like Teen Spirit. I gotta say.
It wasn't really bad, it was just weird.
It was a weird pop.
Anytime you
cover.
hear a cover of a very, very iconic song, it always feels weird.
And I'm like, Marvel, you can afford just get the normal one. You can afford it. You're fine.
Yeah. I do like I think it did suit it better, like the slowed down version of Smells Like Teen Spirit. I feel like I know you probably heard the regular one. The regular one is
very shouty,
very not suiting for that scene. But again, if a song doesn't suit the scene, probably use a different song. But anyways.
And we move on to Natasha leaving America to go hide in a house for like 5 minutes. She tricks General Ross, who is also covered in digital makeup.
It jumps to like right after Civil War.
Yeah, which is where this movie takes place.
Yeah, the whole movie takes place within the however long the time period between Civil War and Infinity War is.
Might have just been
because she dyes her hair blonde like at the very end.
She's like hiding from General Ross.
Yeah,
she's raiding the wrong building. She put her suit tracker in a different place.
Yeah,
and I'm like,
how are you still falling?
International super spy guy? How did you fall for that one? But
I guess they don't do Shield like they used to.
He has aged the most, I think, in the past few years because in Civil War he's
because he was already an old guy when he started.
Yeah, and like now he's got a cane and he had the most CGI makeup going on.
Yeah, I mean it's not like it doesn't take you out, but like you do notice it.
Yeah, you notice it. And then she goes to
somewhere in Russia.
She meets up with her friend who can get her things.
Yeah, there's this character.
His only role in the movie.
There's this character who is just his character's the guy who knows how to get things.
Yeah, no, and then my favorite part of that is the part where she picks up a thing of blonde hair dye and puts it aside, and I'm like,
oh, okay.
So,
but she doesn't use it. We never even see her use it. She doesn't use it until
the movie off screen.
Yeah,
that's very Solo of like explaining details you don't need to.
You want to know why they did that, right?
Why?
Because her sister's blonde in the movie. They can't have two blonde ones, or you wouldn't be able to tell them apart.
Then she has a little bit of a bridge fight with Taskmaster, who's his first introduction in the movie at that point.
Yeah. And he is very menacing the first time we see.
Yeah. That action scene's okay. There's nothing to write home about it. She escapes.
It is cool to see him like copy the moves. Like that's what
fun.
We wanted to see from Taskmaster.
I think in general he's very underutilized in this.
Yeah, he fights.
He doesn't like.
He fights one time.
Yeah, and
we see him if you look closely, he is copying Captain America's moves and he's copying Black Widow's moves. That's pretty much it.
Yeah,
he doesn't really like. You don't see anyone else's
at the end,
fighting
he
styles.
uses Black Panther for like a second.
Yeah.
And, at one point, he shoots an arrow. But like Taskmaster I can understand why he's hard to get across in like a movie medium.
Yeah.
Because especially if you don't have him fighting that character that he's mimicking,
and
it doesn't come off very well.
Taskmaster always works better when he's fighting a team of people.
Yeah.
Because you can see him emulating different fight styles rapidly and as he's fighting characters. When he's fighting one person the whole movie and she's a person who already, again, basically just spams the same move over and over again, it's not very impressive to see him just copy her doing the same move.
My one note for that first like Black Widow v Taskmaster fight is there's some very obvious CGI Black Widow flipping around going on, and I'm like,
they did that a lot.
I was like, she
gets replaced with CGI a lot of times.
Yeah, can't get a stunt double, and it's not like she's like getting thrown across like a city. She's just like doing a cartwheel,
getting punched hard. Yeah,
I'm like, okay, whatever, that's fine. Then she escapes and she realizes that Taskmaster wasn't after her; he was after some little bottles.
Little bottles of anti-mind control
which
juice.
is established in a scene before.
Yeah.
Frees Florence Pugh's character from the mind control.
Some of the Black Widows that are bad are hunting an ex-Black Widow who's good now, except for they kill her. But just before she dies, she sprays the stuff on Black Widow's sister, and then she wakes up from the mind control, and then she takes the stuff and gets hunted by the Black Widows, and then that's how they meet. That's how regular Black Widow and her sister meet.
And then the Yelena Belova and Black Widow have a little bit of a tussle in the apartment, which I thought was the best choreographed scene.
Yeah, for sure.
And then the Black Widows show up. And
that's the thing. This movie, every fight looks the same.
Yeah.
Because they're either fighting Black Widows, who are trained exactly the same as Black Widow, or Taskmaster, whose only power is to copy the fighting styles of other people. So everyone uses the same flippy kick knockdown move as Black Widow does ever since Iron Man 2.
And then they go and we meet David Harbour's character, who seems like he's having the most fun out of everyone here.
Yeah.
I think his character was obviously the we'll write all of our funny bits for him going on. He's Red Guardian, who's Russian Captain
He's
America.
sort of like a washed up Russian Captain America who's still trying to live out his glory days that he never had.
Yeah. At one point in the movie, Yelena Belova's making fun of him, calls him Crimson Dynamo, and I'm like, that's a whole other character that you're probably gonna use at some point.
Yeah.
And then you're gonna have to explain that line. They meet up with David Harbour's character, and they also meet up with Rachel Weisz's, who I think probably has like the least amount to do overall in terms of like the main people.
Yeah.
Like she's just kind of there to like espouse information. She's the exposition character. Torch is a pig. Not a fun scene to watch.
So, yeah, turns out she's the one that made the mind control drug. She tests them on pigs, and at one point she calls in a pig and tells it to stop breathing, and then it just sort of sits there until it passes out, and then she undoes the stop breathing button. She has a stop breathing button, and they just do that to show like the efficiency or the effectiveness of the drug.
Yeah, and then we go into the third act where it is revealed that the Red Room
is like a helicarrier.
Space helicarrier fortress. They explain away, they're like, no one was able to find it because it was in the air, and I'm like, radar.
No, they were above the radars, remember?
Then they pull an old switcheroo to trick the bad guy.
Yeah,
who is horribly underwritten.
Yeah, the bad guy is bad because he's bad.
Because he doesn't like government, and also it's implied because he doesn't like women in general. Yeah,
so it turns out the reason why he only uses a female like soldiers is because, and I quote, "There's too many of them." What? So that was the only time where I was really like, what on earth are you talking about, dude? What is your plan here? That doesn't even make any sense.
Yeah, I was like, are you gonna go into that more?
And then the only soldiers that he actually has guard him are the men soldiers. Yeah. So like clearly that wasn't really like a thing he cared about.
They let all those guys die.
Yeah,
it was very possible they were also being mind controlled, and they were just like, they're dudes.
It's fine. It's fine. Men die all the time. It's fine. It's normal.
Then we get the big twist.
Oh, yeah, Taskmaster, it turns out, is a girl and is also the daughter of the Russian mob boss guy that Black Widow blew up in her past while she was beating him up along with Hawkeye.
Which I saw coming.
As soon as they blow up the daughter, yeah. I'm like, oh, the daughter's Taskmaster.
No, because one, it's gonna be a girl, because no one will see that one coming, because Disney isn't gonna let their main female hero character
blow up a child,
blow up a 7-year-old on screen.
Yeah.
So you're like, okay, that's a girl, and so it's his daughter because she can also not be dead. You instantly see that one coming, and it's also, they say that she has like a chip in her brain, which is what gives her her powers.
So yeah, they fight Taskmaster again. They give her the anti-mind control drugs. She's normal. They give all the Black Widows anti-mind control drugs. So they go all
and then just let them loose.
They go off around the world to free the other Black Widow girls because there's like thousands of them. Yeah. So I mean, I think that pretty much covers it.
I think the only thing left to talk about is the setup for other things.
Yeah. So we got to talk about the post-credit scene. Yelena goes to the grave of Black Widow. This takes place after Endgame. So
yeah. So we move forward in time.
Natasha is very much dead at this point.
She has a dog now,
which she mentioned earlier, and she goes to see Natasha's grave, and she's like crying on it, and she does her little whistle that they do. They do a whistle. And obviously Natasha doesn't whistle back because she's dead.
Yeah.
And then Elaine from Seinfeld shows up, and she blows her nose really hard.
That character's gonna be in multiple shows.
She was so
and I
annoying.
think every single time we should call her Elaine from Seinfeld.
Yes, Elaine from Seinfeld. I don't know what her name is in the movies. I just keep calling her.
It's not like she's playing a different character. Yeah, they act the same.
Elaine from Seinfeld shows up, and she blows her nose all over the place, and then she goes, "Hey, you want to kill Hawkeye? He killed your sister." And she goes, "Yup, sounds like a plan."
And I'm like, he could very easily get out of that one. He just goes, "No."
Literally any Avenger could verify that that's not what happened. Be like, yo, Steve, did this happen? No, it didn't happen. All right, there we go. We got that fixed.
What else?
I think that's it.
I think the only other thing they set up is just that Yelena Belova is going to be the new Black Widow now. Yeah. she's.
But she'll be called
younger
White
than
Widow because her
Scarlet.
costume's white now. They're gonna do that so that they can
That's
sell
not
that.
that's not a thing though.
They'll
Black
do-
Widow is a spider.
They gotta make sure that the action figures are distinguishable, so they'll call it White Widow.
Well, that's why they
instead.
gave Black Widow
Because
a white
grandma, when she's buying presents for little Susie who wants the Black Widow action figure, she's gonna put the White Widow one because she doesn't want the old one, she wants the new one. So grandma gotta know. So they're gonna call it White Widow.
I still think they're probably gonna set up Thunderbolt at some point.
Yeah,
Like, I don't know what else they're doing with the rest of these like
because they wouldn't have added.
throwaway characters.
They wouldn't have introduced like 4 new villain characters
In
to have them
Falcon
all
and the
be good
Soldier.
guys and then have them also all survive. If a Marvel villain survives a movie, they will show up again later because otherwise they just kill them.
Yeah.
The Avengers kill pretty much all of their villains.
General with this movie, I think its biggest problem is by far the creativity of the screenplay. I just think it's sorely lacking. It feels like exactly what it is, where they just came to a group of writers and went, make a Black Widow movie, and they just like put all of what we know about Black Widow in a machine and just pumped out a script. And they were like, okay, now what do we add? We add a new villain, Taskmaster. We add a new character to be the new Black Widow because we killed off Black Widow in the last one. A boom. All right, put it out into the world. There's not a whole lot of new ideas in this one.
Very much exists to set up the Hawkeye show and to explain the replacement for Black Widow in the following movie.
And to give Scarlett Johansson
To send her off happy and
with all
full
of the money she could ever want.
Yeah. Overall, I'd say, what'd you give us out of 10?
I don't like giving score. I feel they're dumb.
Well, okay, give a score anyways. You're just being contrarian.
6, maybe 7.
Yeah, I'd say 6 is good. It's better than the average Marvel movie, but it's not really better than the good Marvel movies.
It's better than your Iron Man 2. Your
Okay,
Fantastic
all of them
Four
are. That's not even that doesn't even count. Yep.
That's it.
Black Widow.
6
out of 10.
It's a movie.
If you like the Marvels, go see it. If you don't like the Marvels, don't bother? Why would you do that?
I'm interested to see how this one does.
Yeah.
Because more than anything, I just want to see, 1, what the audience for Marvel is right now after all this, and 2, how these Disney Plus shows are going to affect the general audience's understanding of what's going on.
Yeah. Alrighty. Well,
All right.
see you guys. We're in the hot tub. Bye bye.
Bye bye.